Welcome back to the Andrew and Ian Show. I'm Andrew Serwick here again with Ian. Hi, Ian. We're gonna cover baseball today. Obviously, we got the All Star game starting just about now. First pitch should be underway here in a couple minutes, anyways. But how are you doing this evening, man?
Can't really complain. So, ready to get this going.
Hey, can't complain at all. But so let's get right into it. First, we're gonna talk about the MLB draft that happened. What was it? This weekend, Sunday, I think, Saturday, whatever. It happened this weekend. Anyways, so we're just gonna kind of go over the first round. Really, just not go through every single pick because, yeah, we're not doing that.
A lot to cover.
That'd be way too much to cover. We're trying to keep today's episode a little bit on the shorter side, but um, Cleveland, they took Travis Bazzana first overall, second baseman from Oregon State. There was really no surprise there. He was kind of the unanimous number one coming into this year's draft, and well, they nailed that pick. Nothing really we can say about it. But there are a lot of reaches in this first round, so uh, let's get into it, man, because it was very very interesting. We'll start with the Miami Marlins, man. Um, what the fuck? I feel like a lot of these teams they reached a lot here, but they took the 43rd ranked prospect PJ Morlando. Um, he's a outfielder from Somerville High School. I don't know where the fuck that is, but yeah, quite big reach here.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant difference there. You're the 43rd overall prospect, and you're getting picked at number 16 overall. Granted, it's not as bad as the next pick, but it's still not a good look. If you're a franchise like the Marlins, you want a franchise-changing pick right here. Like I know you're picking 16th overall, so you're kind of starting to get in that range where it's not the top of the top, but it's still should be worthy of a first round pick. Just based on the prospect rank alone. That guy's in the middle of the second round, and you just took him in the middle of the first round. And he's from high school, so he has the time to develop, but not really sure that's a really good pick for them. I think they should have taken someone, and obviously looking at the rest of these picks ahead of them, they had someone who was worthy of a top 16 pick, but they just chose not to.
Yeah, it was very weird. They just chose not to, but not as bad as a pick as what Milwaukee did here, man. They took Braylon Payne, outfielder from Elkins High School, 53rd ranked prospect there at pick number 17. Um, what the fuck are you guys doing? I mean, I get it. You're not really in that. Uh, your team's not in a position to where you need to have a franchise changing player drafted, and you can develop this kid, and maybe he'll turn into something. But taking the 53rd ranked prospect at number 17, man, when you could have had him easily in the second round, because again, that's a late second round pick rank for this kid, and maybe they see something that we don't. But man, it's just a weird pick that they easily could have had again in that second round. But yeah, no, they take this kid. Not much on him, but pretty solid outfielder still. But I don't understand why you're taking a guy ranked the bottom of the second round in the middle of the first round. It just doesn't. It's not something that makes sense to me.
Yeah, to me, this is something that, I mean, he's an outfielder, and looking at these picks, there were four picks that were specifically designated as an outfielder ahead of them. That was the third overall pick, and they were ranked the second overall prospect. And then you had the 12th overall pick, and they were ranked the eighth overall prospect. And then the 13th pick was ranked 12th overall prospect, all outfielders. And then you had the next outfielder picked before him was PJ Morlando by the Marlins, and then Milwaukee just decided to follow suit. So you had these teams drafting these outfielders that were at or above the pick that they were supposed to be at. So what happened with these two? Is that this front office just have a smooth brain moment there, or is it they saw something that we didn't when they were up there in person at these high school games?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is maybe they saw something we don't know. I mean, it's so hard to get a read, especially on high school prospects. As just an outside observer of the MLB draft, it's a lot easier to see these these college kids in the draft because you could watch college baseball games on TV and you could scout these guys out and you kind of get a good reading on, hey, this guy's pretty good, this guy's pretty shit, whatever. It's really really hard to tell with high school prospects. So really, only time's gonna tell. Maybe they had a smooth brain moment, and it's very very possible that they do, but it's also very possible, again, because these are high school kids. It's very possible these kids could be, the next Bryce Harper, you know, the next Mike Trout, except for maybe without the back injuries. But yeah, no, it's just a bit of a just you could have had them in the second round each, like no problem here. And same with what the Yankees and the Phillies took. Yankees took a pitcher from Alabama, Ben Hess. Now I know this kid's actually pretty. He's got some good stuff. And he's the 44th ranked prospect. I watched some of his games this year. He's got some good stuff, but he's not necessarily MLB ready. But probably a year, maybe two, at the AAA level, and he'll be ready. I think to step into the MLB. Again, a bit of a reach here from the Yankees, but they're the Yankees. They don't even need elite level prospects. They just are able to sign guys because their owner, unlike Detroit, spends money.
Yeah, and say the one thing I'm looking here with that pick though is, dude is 6'5", 255. Put him under MLB training, he's gonna be throwing some heat. He's gonna have pretty good velocity potential there. So that's something that I do kind of see where it's like I give him credit for that because that's a big boy, and you can't teach size. That's the one thing in sports. Like if you have a guy who's just naturally bigger, you can't teach that.
No, you can't teach it. And yeah, he's a big dude. He's got some really good stuff. Again, you get him a year and a half, maybe 2 years up at AAA. He'll be pretty solid. I think at the MLB level. And then the Phillies, they took a guy from Michigan out of Northville High School, took an outfielder, Dante Nori. He was ranked 48 out of all the prospects in the draft. They took him there at 27. Again, a guy you probably could have had at your second round pick here, but they don't do that. And a bit of a reach again. But again, Philly's at a point right now, kind of like with Milwaukee, where they don't necessarily need a game-changing, prospect, just because their team's good enough where you don't need to have these elite level prospects right now because you have a great team and you're signing guys anyways. So. And your ownership's spending money, is willing to spend money. He's shown that over the past few years. So why not take a chance on this guy? Yes, you might have blown your first round pick, but you never know. Again, with these high school prospects, man, it is just so tough to know what you're actually going to get.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, considering the organization that drafted him, it's this could be like you said earlier, a Bryce Harper pick. Someone that they put under him and say, hey, you were in this exact situation. You were drafted out of high school. Give this kid some pointers, and then all of a sudden he comes out of the Phillies farm system in a couple of years, winning Rookie of the Year, and then forcing Bryce Harper into retirement or something like that. It's like they got a good thing going on out there in Philly, and I think they have the potential to really develop crazy out there. So it's that's like you said, time will tell, and I think the odds are in his favor.
Yeah, I think the odds are definitely in his favor. Philly's known for being pretty damn good for developing prospects. I mean, look at Bryce Harper no further. I mean, um, they have a pretty good farm system as it is. So yeah, I mean, take a chance on this kid from Northville. It's good to see our Michigan boys getting drafted. Ain't that right? Um, but I really want to quickly just talk about the Tigers real quick because they took a shortstop. He was what, the 10th ranked prospect? Yeah, the 10th ranked prospect at pick number 11. Um, Shortstop out of some high school out in California. Big dude. We were just talking pre-show about it. What was his size again?
He's 6'3", 195, the high school senior.
Yeah, big boy. Look, the Tigers need infielders desperately. They finally drafted a shortstop, which is fantastic. Um, my only gripe with it is it's a high school prospect, and the my problem with the Tigers is the past, what is it now, 5 6 years they've except outside of Torkelson, they've taken high school prospects instead of college, almost MLB ready guys. I mean, last year we took Max Clark over Wyatt Langford, and Wyatt Langford's killing it for was it the Rangers? He got drafted by, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's killing it for the Rangers, and we have to wait years for at least till 2027 to see Max Clark, and I'm just like, why can't this team just be serious for once and draft a MLB ready guy? I mean, because like the Nationals took pretty much an MLB ready shortstop just ahead of the Tigers, Seaver King from Wake Forest. Now, yeah, he was the 17th ranked prospect that they took at number 10. Bit of a reach, but he's damn near MLB ready anyway. So that's my thing, is the Tigers keep drafting all these high schoolers, and it's like, why am I supposed to care about this team if we're not even going to try to at least build towards something, instead of just keep pushing it down the road? Wait for these high school kids. Wait for these high school kids over and over and over again. How am I supposed to care as a Tigers fan?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Like, I can understand the Max Clark pick a little bit because at the time you have three MLB capable outfielders in Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Parker Meadows, either in your farm system or up at the MLB level already. And now Justin Henry Malloy is shaping out to be a pretty good pickup. So Max Clark, I can kind of understand. Now, a shortstop, when you have Javi Baez and Zach McKinstry on rotation, pretty much, and Ryan Kreidler when he's not injured, I would have preferred to see, like you said, a college shortstop. And granted, down the road, they did draft a shortstop out of Notre Dame. But if there was a better available college shortstop at the time, I think they should have pulled the trigger. But if somehow the checkbook does come out and they get a shortstop from someone, then I understand. But as of right now, there's no guaranteed hole fillers for this team at shortstop, whether it's, someone on the team currently or someone down in the minors.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue with it. We have this awful Frankenstein rotation at shortstop and third base. Don't get me wrong there, but at least we have third base prospects down in the minors that are projecting to be pretty good. We have no fucking shortstops at all, and now we just drafted a high school shortstop that is, again, years down the line, or we're looking 2029. Like, I'm supposed to care about that. It just doesn't make sense. Yes, they took that kid from Notre Dame, forget his name right now, but he's not MLB ready yet. I mean, he's probably at least 2 years out. He's probably already better than Baez. I mean, let's be realistic here. But man, like it just is what it is. I mean, Baez is the worst player in baseball, hands down, right now. And besides maybe Maeda, but again, both are Tigers, both are awful. It makes sense. But yeah, it's just frustrating to me how we keep just drafting all these high school kids, and I'm supposed to care about this team. That's just constantly in the middle of nowhere. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Tigers have a big offseason this year, but um, Chris Ilitch doesn't want to spend like his dad did, so uh, it is what it is there. But we're gonna get to the MLB All Star game here soon. But one thing I just want to talk about that I saw today. The Orioles. It was reported that the Orioles and the Dodgers are both trying to put together massive packages to get Tarek Skubal from the Tigers. Um, it was I forget the guy who reported it, but yeah, but both these teams are kind of trying to put together a big package to get Tarek Skubal from the Tigers. If you're Scott Harris, you at least have to listen to these offers, right? Like you can't not, field these offers, see what's out there, see what you can get. If I can get, four of your top 10 prospects for Skubal, though, I might take that, especially if two of them are like legit MLB ready bats. I would gladly take that. Four out of your top 10 prospects, and two of them are like MLB ready bats. Like what do you make of this, or what would you do in this situation?
I don't know. Like, as much as I would like to see him succeed and go to a team that could win a championship, I don't see him leaving. I see him like stepping in and saying, "Hey, I'm not getting traded." Because number one, they have Jack Flaherty already as trade bait, I believe. And Tarek Skubal, he's potential Cy Young winner here. If you're Scott Harris and like you said, you want to win now, you're not trading your Cy Young winner away. This is your JV Max Scherzer 2.0 right here. This is your building block for that rotation. And then you have Reese Olson, Casey Mize, and Matt Manning coming right after him. That's a filthy rotation. You don't want to lose the ace of that. Like I said, I'm fine with losing Jack Flaherty. I'm perfectly fine with losing that. But unless the team is throwing me like a ridiculous, like an NBA trade, like 5 first-round picks for him, or like you're emptying their farm system for him with some picks, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no,
I think he has infinitely more value on the team than if you trade him. And then you have a Torkelson situation where a prospect is very highly touted and then they don't work out.
here's my thing, right? Is that if we were to do this trade, the first thing I'm doing before I even make this trade is I'm signing Flaherty to a longer term deal. Very easily doing that. Obviously, I'm pulling up Matt Manning to fill that void, and then again, I'm getting, you know, one pitching prospect and three batting prospects, and they're all your top 10 prospects. I'm good with that. That's what I would do. I'm not mad if the Tigers don't trade Skubal. I'm not mad at that at all. But we have to sign him to a long-term deal before the winter meetings this year, if that's the route we're gonna go. Because yeah, look, if you want to keep Skubal and you want to have him part of your pitching core going forward to potentially win a World Series, you have to sign him before even the winter meetings this year, because that's how important he has to be to your team, because he is your ace. There's no doubt about it. So I'm not mad either way, but if you're Scott Harris, you at least have to listen to these offers, and if you really do your job, you can kind of get a bidding war between these two teams, and they'll gladly toss you out, elite level prospects. And because the way Baltimore's built and the way the Dodgers are built right now, their prospect pools are full of great talent that they can't bring up. So, if you're gonna field these offers, at least try and do your job. That's basically what I'm trying to get at here. Is Scott Harris needs to do his job with these teams that are pulling interest with Tarek Skubal.
Oh yeah, like again, he's under contract until 2026. So he's not a free agent for another 2 years. So you have Scott Harris has 2 years to jack up his value as much as possible. So I'd start the bidding off at two first rounders and some prospects. Just because again, You keep him this whole season, he wins the Cy Young at the end of the year. That's just further increasing his value. You're a Cy Young winner on a team that, as of right now at the All Star break, is under 500. Granted, they started playing really well at the All Star break, and they're only 3 games under compared to like the 10 plus they were. At the end of the day, this dude is almost a guaranteed win every time he steps on the mound. Like I said, you have to bankrupt the team to get him from me if I'm Scott Harris.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is like for years we've been the team that's been getting robbed. It's our turn to start robbing people if that's the route we're gonna go. You know, if we're gonna trade Scooble, we have to get a king's ransom for him. I'm not settling for anything less, than like I said, four top 10 prospects from your farm system, and two of them have to be like legit MLB ready bats. Other than that, I'm not interested in your offer. Um, and it is what it is there, and we keep Scooble. And like I said, I would like to see Scooble stay, but at the same time, if the offer's right and the offer can turn this team from a 500 team to a team that can legitimately win 90 plus games a year, I'm doing it. Again, you have to also sign Flaherty to a longer term deal, and go from there. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Wanted to get your your thoughts on that. Um, and what Baltimore and LA are kind of thinking right now. I mean, they like I said, they are looking to put together some big packages just to get Tarek Skubal. So very interesting. We'll see what happens. We're a couple weeks from the deadline, but let's get into the All-Star game. Last night was the home run derby, so you want to fill us in on that, Ian?
I'll just go through the numbers that people hit in the first round and then go from there. So Alec Boehm led off with 21, and I mean, him and Jose Ramirez were both tied with 21 in the first round. That's a hefty bar to set in the first round. I mean, the next closest was Bobby Witt Jr. at 20. So you have 3 guys who hit 20 home runs in the first round. It's pretty close competition. And then Teoscar Hernandez with 19, Adolis Garcia with 18, uh, Marcelo Ozuna with 16. Yeah, Pete Alonso had 12, and then Gunnar Henderson had 11. So every single one of these dudes had double digits, and only 2 of them had less than 16.
Yeah,
A lot of home runs flying out of the park in that first round.
I I I was talking to some buddies last night, and they were someone said the only reason why Pete Alonso's still in the MLB is just so he can participate in the home run derby. Just for him to only hit 12 home runs last night.
Yeah, it was 12.
Awful.
Yeah, a little bit. But then you get into the second round, so you had Alec Boehm going head-to-head against Teoscar Hernandez, and they had to go into a swing-off, which Teoscar Hernandez won 2-1. So he advanced to the finals. And then on the other side, you had Jose Ramirez and Bobby Witt Jr., so 2 AL Central teams going head-to-head. And you'd think Jose Ramirez would win that one, but no, he lost 17-12.
God damn.
Yeah, so Bobby Witt Jr.'s going crazy with the motherfucker out there in KC. And then yeah, they it was a 14-13 final for Teoscar Hernandez over Bobby Witt Jr. So he only lost by 1. So it was pretty close competition all across the board.
Yeah, pretty close competition. Except for in the first round, with Pete Alonso and who was it that hit 11 there?
Gunnar
Yeah,
Henderson.
Gunnar had man, that was awful performances from those two. But yeah, no, the second round especially was very very exciting. Obviously, you had to have a swing off to decide one half of that bracket. Um, but yeah, moving on to the All Star game. That's underway now. I'm pretty sure. At this point. Just yeah, it's still 0-0. I know Paul Skeens got the start for the NL, and Corbin Burns got the start for the AL. It's the middle of the first right now, so not a whole lot going on right now, but it's gonna be interesting to see when Tarek Skubal comes in uh, for the AL to pitch because he's the best pitcher in baseball right now, bar none. Um, and why he's not getting the start for the AL is beyond me, but um, this year's lineups are pretty interesting. Over in the NL, you got Ketel Marte leading off. Shohei Ohtani, of course. Big surprise there. Not really. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, um, Will Contreras, Christian Yelich, Alex Bohm, Teoscar Hernandez, and Jurickson Profar. Um, that's your batting lineup for the NL. Very stacked lineup there. Um, and so far, just Bryce Harper, the only hit recorded in the game. Obviously, again, we're now in the bottom of the first inning, so obviously that's going to change. But yeah, going over to the AL, we got Gunnar Henderson, Stephen Kwan, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez, Jordan Alvarez, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., uh, Adley Rutschman, and Marcus Semien. That's your starting lineup there. Um, the I know Riley Green made it to the AL, but I think he's just kind of he's going to be rotated in at some point in the game. But obviously, as us Tigers fans, we really just care about Tarek Skubal being the All Star game because yeah, he definitely got screwed though. He should have been the one starting for the AL.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Corbin Burns getting the nod. They are both very, very good pitchers, but I definitely think as of right now, for the All-Star game, if you have, obviously, you have a Cy Young favorite. If he's in that game and voted to the All-Star game, I think you give it to him on both ends. Now, granted, for the NL, you have Paul Skeens, who's on the mound right now, and I mean, he's got Stephen Kwan in an 0-2 count. Kwan's hitting 352 on the year, and this is a rookie. So this dude is a flamethrower, and he rightfully deserved that start, I'd say.
Oh no, Paul Skeens. I mean, he's elite. I mean, plain and simple, he is absolutely elite. He's on fire. I mean, he's an NL Cy Young, candidate. He's that good as a rookie. I mean, he absolutely deserves the start for the NL. I mean, the season that he's had as a rookie again, just incredible. What he's been able to do. That said, I think the NL is gonna win tonight just because that batting lineup for one is absolutely stacked, and then also you have an elite level pitcher starting for you, and they have some good guys in that rotation as well for the NL. So I think the NL is probably gonna walk away with this one, but you never know. It's the All Star game; they're not really out here trying too hard. So, but yeah, just based on what we actually have in terms of lineup, I think the NL should walk away with this one.
Yeah, if they allowed pitchers to go more than one inning in this game, I feel like Paul Skeens could go a good 4 to 5 innings of work here with maybe one run ball, but this should be the NL. I think the NL definitely has the batting side of this. I mean, just having Corbin Burns and Tarek Skubal back to back in that AL. I mean, yeah, Paul Skeens is Paul Skeens, and he's having a phenomenal season, but he is a rookie at the end of the day. So this could be a one and done year. We're not sure. I don't think it will be, but like we know, Tarek Skubal and Corbin Burns are proven.
Yeah, exactly. They're both proven arms, um, and yeah, I mean Paul Skeens is great. Batting lineup NL clears. I think with the pitching rotation, I think the AL wins that battle, but I think ultimately, yeah, the NL should win this one. I mean, great pitching is gonna help you, but again, it's the All Star game, so these pitchers aren't gonna be pitching their best stuff. They're not gonna be throwing as hard as they normally would. And that's just the way it is with All Star games, which is why I just personally am not a big fan of All Star games in general. Because I mean, you look at the NBA All Star game, that was embarrassing this year. Because no one was really playing, no one really cared. Same with the NHL All Star game, and then obviously the Pro Bowl is flag football, and that's not entertaining either. So, um, All Star games are kind of pointless in my opinion, but it is what it is there. But yeah, so that's gonna really wrap us up. Obviously, yesterday, I believe, was the release for college football 25, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been Sunday. I don't remember now entirely, but um, yeah, I know a lot of people have been glued to playing that. I don't have the Xbox, and I'm not going to buy an Xbox just for one game. It's kind of stupid to do that. So sad boy cries because it's not coming out on PC, at least not yet. But yeah. Anyways, guys, next week we'll kind of see what comes up. We're right around the corner from football season. Just a couple more weeks, and training camp will be starting back up. I know college football training camp is going to be starting back up too, so we're going to have a ton coming forward here in next month. But the next couple weeks, again, not a whole lot going on. We'll see what comes up, and we'll just talk about whatever next week. So, with that said, rate, review, subscribe, help us out. Let us know what you guys want to see more of on the podcast. Check out our YouTube page. Keep sharing the podcast. Let's keep growing this thing. Thank you guys again so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week on Tuesday.